Hey guys, good morning. Hope everybody's doing amazing. So I am going live right now to kick off. We're still getting set up, but I want to talk to you about why today is so incredibly important, um, and why today and why social media in itself means so much to me, because I really feel that social media is an opportunity for women to really have the freedom and the leverage that they need to generate a massive amount of generational wealth, a massive amount of legacy. And it's something that really hasn't been afforded to women until now. And if you look at the history of women and money, you're going to find out that a lot of work has been done by women in the past, unfortunately, but we don't have the wealth to show for we don't have the wealth to show for it. And if you look at the numbers, you'll see that that's very, very true. Because while women do three-fourths of the world's work, we actually only have 10% of the world's wealth and 1% of the world's land, which kind of makes for a sad story for us as caregivers. It makes for a sad story for us in terms of being able to generate legacy, being able to care for our families, and being able to do the things that we need to do to live a secure life. So, with that being said, when social media came along, it became an opportunity to kind of level the playing field. I don't know about you guys, but I know me personally, anytime I needed to make additional income, I had to go to a job outside of the house, which meant I had to have daycare, which meant I had to spend a portion of that income in order to make more income. So it just kept being this vicious cycle of never having enough. And because I never had enough, I just stayed in this cycle of working jobs that didn't pay me enough, working jobs that didn't give me promotions, working jobs that really didn't treat me fairly. And to be honest with you, even though they were executive jobs, because even as a vice president at Chase, I found that the men still made way more money than I made, which at an executive position, we were always taught hush hush, you know, don't speak on how much you make. But on the flip side of that, I learned that they were always telling us don't talk about how much you make, because they didn't want us to find out that we were the ones being substantially underpaid and substantially overworked. I remember, and if you know anything about JP Morgan Chase, you remember all the mergers we did. I remember working multiple mergers, multiple acquisitions, training people internationally, training people in Manila, Cebu, Bangalore, training people all over the United States, flying from place to place, and just doing all this massive amount of work. And then at the end of the day, somebody who was not my gender and not my color got paid extra for the work I did. And, if you've ever been through that, at some point you get tired. And I got tired. And that was about 8 years ago. And I stumbled upon social media as a way to generate additional revenue. And since then have gone on to generate millions of dollars online. And I know that it's possible for other women as well. And so that's why we do what we do. So first and foremost, I do this because I want to see other women free. I want to see them financially free. I want to see them physically free from jobs. I want to see them spiritually free from the stress and anxiety that comes from thinking that you have to have a job and not knowing that kingdom work and working for the Most High is enough. And then He's going to always make sure you have a way when you're working for Him. So the freedom is unparalleled. When I started building my business, my kids were like 12 and 13. so I could still do the extracurricular activities with them in the daytime, but build my business at 11 o'clock at night, midnight. I remember, I don't know if you guys know who Toni Morrison is. She wrote Beloved, she wrote Paradise. She wrote a lot of African American genre books in the 70s. And she talked about how writing gave her the freedom to be able to still parent and be a, a mother, but she could work in the middle of the night. And that's what social media does for you. So a lot of people take social media lightly. I don't take social media lightly at all, because I know it is an avenue for great wealth and we have to treat it accordingly. Number two, social media also gives you an opportunity to reap some of the seeds that we have women have sown. I mean, we've built multiple businesses for other people. We've gone to jobs for other people. We've secured bonuses for other people, revenue for other people. And guess what? Not done it for ourselves. So social media gives us an opportunity to be able to get some of that back, because it's biblical. When you sow seed, you're supposed to reap a harvest. It's just that many of us don't know how. And so we have to learn how to use the tools that we have available. And nowadays, by the time you spend 20, 30, $40,000 trying to um trying to help me, Bertha, trying to get a big brick and mortar building up and running and be limited to your geographical reach, be limited in your local reach. A lot of times when you're local, people don't patronize you as much as they would, could, should. So you have that whole Jesus effect, as my mom used to say. She used to always say, well, baby, even Jesus, they didn't recognize him in his hometown. You have to get up and you have to get out. Social media gives you the reach of being able to get clients all over the world. And so again, I think a lot of people treat it lightly while they shouldn't treat it lightly. I'm not sure who's moderating the chat, because I am live right now. So if y'all can moderate the chat on Facebook for Lynn Chiquita and give them the link for the day, that would be great. Um, Thirdly, just the creativity of women. I've never seen anybody make so much out of so little. I reflect back to my grandmother. I reflect back to my great grandma Betty. I reflect back to my mom, and they never really had much, but we didn't know it. Everybody always had enough to eat. As a matter of fact, my grandmother would invite people in to eat, and we'd be like, "How you inviting people in to eat?" And we barely got enough to be eating ourselves, but it was never that. It was never about that. We always had enough. It didn't matter if it was cold outside. We always had enough coal. We always had enough wood. We always had enough food. Didn't have a whole lot of money, but we had a lot of everything else. And we always had a lot of love. And I just always marvel at how my grandmother and grandfather made so much out of so little. So I know that women can do. I know we can show up. I know we can create. I know that we're imaginative. We're just not accustomed to doing it for ourselves. And that's why events like this are so important, because you've got to learn how to leverage the world's tools in order to really be a blessing. The word says you blessed to be a blessing, but at the same time, you can't pour out of empty. And so many of us are running around trying to give out of empty, trying to pour out of empty, not realizing that when you build and gain first, you have so much more to give. So it's critical that, good morning, Bliss Beauty Supply, that we realize that there's so many opportunities that we're missing because we associate our value with our business value. We associate our past history with our business history. We associate the wrongs that have been done to us with how much we should be able to generate in business. And the two are not the same. We're quick to go to a job and work 10, 12 hours a day at a job, but not put that same energy and effort into what we do for ourselves or for our families. Guys, make sure you give them the discount code in the chat. Y'all professionals at this. I know y'all know what to do. And tell them make sure they use lowercase. Darius said he on the way, he putting his face on. But understanding too that the sisterhood that we create also has a lot to do with it. For too long, women have snubbed their noses at each other. For too long, women have not really supported each other, not really helped each other. Now, I want to correct what that looks like, because often women will inbox me asking me business questions, this, that, and the other, not realizing that the knowledge I got, I had to pay for it, and I had to pay a lot. I had to pay a lot in sacrifices, time, energy, effort, elbow grease, sweat equity, and money. So at some point, you got to be willing to pay too, because that is what happens when you want to harvest. Anytime you want to harvest, you got to be willing to sow seed. So it doesn't just happen, right? You got to be willing to give something to get something. But again, the grace that we show other women is the grace that we're going to be shown as we build our businesses. So we have to remember that it's a critical piece of being in business. You will not make it online by yourself. You won't. There's too many moving parts. There's too much knowledge. There's too much you don't know. And again, there's that I don't know what I don't know factor. But yet, because it's been instilled in us to just grind and that's enough, we don't seek help. And that's where the wheel falls off. So we end up spending $10, $15, $20,000 in mistakes before we get it right, not realizing that the right investment and the right knowledge could not only save us from going down that path of frustration, wanting to quit, wanting to give up, but it can get you to the money much, much faster. It doesn't take all day, and it doesn't take a whole Herculean lot of work to make money online. It's just that you don't know what you don't know. And so we're used to being in the world of heavy lift, where when you lift heavy, you make money. It's not like that online. Online is all about strategy and numbers. Can you get your product or service in front of enough people? And that's what we teach. It's a numbers game. We've been taught that such and such is special, or such and such is light, or such and such got better hair, or such and such got a better it's not like that online. It has nothing, it has less to do with your attributes. You still have to be personable. And that's for success in any business. You still got to put people first, but people don't judge you as stringently as you think they do. When you meet people online, they got a problem, they want a solution, and if you're the person to solve it, they're going to pay you for it. And it's as simple as that. And when you're in your immediate circle, you may say, well, the people in my immediate circle don't pay me. They probably don't, and they probably never will. Because the people in your immediate circle, they not hurting bad enough. 7.4 billion people on the planet, somebody's hurting bad enough to not only pay you, but pay you whatever price you say, I need to be paid. And that's the truth of the matter. We've got to understand pricing and profitability. As women too, especially, we've also got to watch our mouths and watch what we say. We can't say stuff like the money's not important. It's not important to who? Because I got kids and they like to eat every day. I've tried, putting them on a every other day type schedule, but some kind of way they just keep every day coming back, and then my kids are in college now. And one of the twins, I got twins, two separate schools, two separate tuitions, two separate rents, two separate rental insurances. I'm just tired of paying bills, but I'm blessed to be able to do it. But one of them came home for the holidays. She's like, "Oh, mom, you have a lot of food here." And if I tell you, every time I looked up, they was in their kitchen blazing something outside of the $400 worth of catering I ordered. Right? They ate through that and then proceeded to eat through my pantry, eat through my freezer, and eat through it. So my kids like to eat, and I can't do that with no revenue. So if you're gonna help somebody solve a problem, you should expect to be paid. So I want to do so. I want to give away some free live stream tickets. How many should I give away, Dion? Dion said 3. Okay, so the first 3 people to text BYOB Pink to 77948. Give us about 5 minutes and we'll have a live stream ticket for you to join us in the room over the next couple of days. If you can't make the entire event, that's fine. We already have over, I think, 1,000 live people, live stream people RSVP'd. So if you can't make the whole event, that's fine. Recordings are going to be available, whether you come in the room or whether you RSVP. But go to text BYOB Pink, all lowercase, to 77948. And the first 5 people, I'm going to gift you with access to the event today. So give my team a few minutes and they'll get right back to you on who won the tickets. Now, if I look and you haven't shared the broadcast, good morning, Carolyn. We're going to get started in just a minute. If I look and you haven't shared the broadcast, then I'm going to be like, ooh, they can't win that ticket. So you got to give to get, okay? So with that being said, I think we did profit planning yesterday. We did a VIP profit planning session. We did, and the day before, we really just talked about mindset. And really what we came up with was that the only person that can keep you from generating the amount of money you need to build a legacy is you. It's not about your enemies. It's not about your haters. It's not about your job. It's not your husband. It's not your family. The only person that can stop you is you. That's the only real battle you're ever going to have. It's the stories you tell yourself. So, Verlian, tell me what you learned over the 2 days of profit planning.
How little I was counting on my business. And when I say how little I was counting on my business, that meant how little effort I was putting into it and expecting a bigger result. But it was all me.
Yeah.
It was all me.
I can honestly tell you, and for my clients, y'all see the amount of work I put in behind the scenes. So when the millions come, it's not like I'm lucky. It's I know I'm blessed, but we all are. So we walked into the room to the profit planning session and said, understand that everybody in this room has the same potential to generate millions of dollars that I do right now. There's nobody with greater potential. There's nobody with greater blessings. There's nobody with greater intellect. Everybody's got something. God gave everybody something that will generate the lifestyle that you want, regardless of what that looks like monetarily. If you want to leave your job, you got the skills and intellect to do that. Whatever you want your life to look like. So understand that first. Now let's talk about what your problem is. And 99.9% of the time, you are the problem. And you get caught up in here. Chiquita, what'd you learn?
I learned 2 big things. That I do not have a glass ceiling.
At the sky's the limit. I wake up every day. How many of y'all encounter me at 4 in the morning? And what am I doing at 4 in the morning? Singing, dancing. I wake up every day excited because the worst thing you could have ever told me is that I live in a world without limits. And he said he would give me my heart's desire, whatever that looks like. I don't have to wait on a pay increase. I don't have to wait on a bonus. I don't have to wait on somebody to decide they want to pay me more. I don't have to. Every day I have an opportunity to be financially free. Based on what three things, Chiquita? What three things I tell you have to do?
I have to read the knowledge. I have to, after you get the knowledge, I have to take action. I have to execute. I got to know my worth.
You got to believe. That's the three things. You got to believe. Even if you don't believe in you, you got to believe that he is who he said he is, and he can do what he said he can do. Because even the days I can't do it for myself, I know that there's greater than me, right? So that's number one. Number two, I've got to get the knowledge and the strategy. There's no two ways about it. It's folks out there blowing multi-millions of dollars online. It's a strategy to it. Anthony Robbins says success leaves clues. So if your business ain't working, you got to give up guessing about what to get, and you got to go somewhere where it's being done and get the knowledge. So first you have to have the belief, then you got to have the knowledge. Some people stop there. They got all the knowledge in the world and won't do nothing with it. And that's where it comes to execution. One of our speakers today is Darius Williams, and me and Darius been cool about about 3 going on 4 years. If you don't know who Darius Williams is, he's an online food blogger. He has a restaurant here, 2 restaurants in Atlanta, Soul Crab Atlanta and Greens and Gravy. He also has a Soul Crab in Chicago. He's got videos that have gone viral with macaroni and cheese, and he had over 1 million views on that grits video and 1 million views on the greens video. But anyway, I bring that up because Darius sometimes comes to Houston, which is where I live, to maybe have lunch with me. And so he came to Houston, and I said, I'm going to take you to my favorite crab restaurant, right? Which at the time was Crawfish and More down there on Highway 6. But now it's Nick's Crawfish. Is horrible. Just letting y'all know, don't go there. So he flew to town just to have lunch with me. Last time I was in Vegas, he flew to Vegas just to surprise me. Time before that, I was in Vegas. He flew to Vegas just to have dinner with me. That's what you do when you got money like that. You just go. So we eating at Crawfish and More. He tasted the crab. And he said, "This your favorite crab?" I said, "Yeah, by far. Other than the boiling crab in Vegas, they got a boiling crab in Vegas and Dallas. Those are but this one right here in Houston by far." A week later, he called me on FaceTime. He had some keys dangling in his hand. I said, "What are the keys of that?" He said, "That's Soul Crab Atlanta. Millionaires execute. If they find a good idea, they execute." How many of y'all have seen me come up with an idea yesterday, execute the idea today, and make 20, 30, 50, $100,000 in 24, 48 hours? Because why? I executed. A lot of y'all got money stuck in your head, money stuck in your hands, money just stuck because you won't execute. It's an art to execution, to doing things immediately, to not overthinking, to not being overly concerned about the risk, being able to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? This can't kill me. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody might say something bad about me. Who cares? Me and LJ's son was talking about rappers last night at dinner. And we talked about how, y'all know my favorite rapper is Jay-Z. I feel like he's the GOAT, right? When it comes to rap. Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, greatest of all time, arguably. But he's talking about how Nas blazed him in that rap song, Ether. I said, but at the end of the day, hello, who's gonna go down in history? Who's iconic? Number one, who's on Forbes list? Because if money don't count for anything, it's got to count for something. So you might have said some bad things about me, but if I'm on Forbes list, got the baddest chick in the game wearing my name, do I really care? See, people take care too far. You care about people that can't even see you at the bank. You understand what I'm saying? You care about people that can't pay your kids' tuition. I got 2 kids in college. I spent about $10,000 a month on just tuition. Not to mention they rent. Y'all done seen me go to the dealership and buy them cars. I'm buying both of them houses when they graduate. Bruh, can't nobody fade that but me. So why am I worried about what other people gotta say about my journey when the light bill is due? They're not gonna pay that light bill. I retired my mom from her job 3 years before she passed away. My mom worked all her life. You hear me? I don't remember a time where my mom did not work for me. You think people didn't talk about me when I left that job as the vice president of Chase? She's stupid. What's she leaving her job for? That's crazy. Wasn't none of them able to retire my mother like I was. Y'all be worried about the wrong thing. These people can't pay your bills and ain't. So who cares? I have a list of about 5 people that I care about what they think. My mom gone, she ain't on there. My grandmama gone, she ain't on there. That leave my kids and Troy and Cujo on a good day. That's our bull master. After that, I'm almost done. I do right by people. I treat people fairly. I go above and beyond for people. And after that, that's all I could do. Say what you want about me. Because half of it's probably lies. But who cares? I don't even have time to listen. I tell y'all all the time, you can count your money or count your haters. Choose. Can't count both. So while you over there count heads, I'm over here count racks. Because I really don't care what they got to say over there. Because they can't provide for my children if something happened for me tomorrow. Choose your battles. Pick what you pick what's important. Dion, what'd you learn?
That I'm beyond restrictions, and also millionaires, they make a decision. They make a decision, and they don't. Well, one of them for sure don't let 5 o'clock go by without making a decision for that day.
Oprah says she does not let 5 p.m. come and bring decisions to the next day. How many of you are guilty of overthinking something? Raise your hand. And do you know what's happening the whole time you thinking? You're losing money. You're losing opportunity. You're losing exposure. You're losing the ability to build your brand. You're losing. You don't win nothing by dragging your feet. Between discernment, because women have an amazing amount of discernment when we employ it. You knew that dude wasn't no good when you started dating him. But he was just so cute. You thought you could fix him, girl. You thought you could fix him. But you knew what it was. We have discernment. We choose not to use it. Right? We have women's intuition. And there's a book by Claude Bristol called The Magic of Believing. He wrote it in like 1954. And he talked about how women have an immense amount of ability to not only envision things, but to bring those things, right? To manifest those things. But we manifest for everybody but ourselves. We manifest college educations for our children and good jobs for our man. And we manifest for our parents. And we manifest for our friends. And we encourage and cajole everybody else. And we build everybody else's greatness. Meanwhile, you got your greatness on the rack somewhere because your greatness ain't good enough. Your greatness ain't strong enough. Your greatness ain't got enough courage. And nobody wants your greatness. But everybody else is great. So you got to learn that you don't have any restrictions except for the restrictions that you put on yourself. And whatever they are, you gotta let them restrictions go. Nunu, what'd you learn?
From the assistant coach, you either on your way or in your way.
And it's only two situations. And you got to ask yourself that every day. Every day, am I on the way or am I in my way? And it's only one or two positions. You're either moving or you're sitting still. A lot of times we sit still because we're afraid of failure. What you don't realize is that sitting still is failure. As long as I'm moving my feet, I can't fail because eventually I'm going to figure it out. Eventually. But if I don't move my feet, I'm not going to figure anything out. LJ, what'd you learn?
I learned that you can't just say how much money you want to make, but you have to have a strategy and calculate what is it going to take to get you to that figure. And a lot of times it's more than one way.
A lot of times it's a whole bunch of ways. But guess what else you have to do? Tell me what else you learned.
Stop getting in your own way
Uh,
and alleviate the distraction and focus on one thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear, I'm sorry. I want to make sure the mister hit it. Zon, mister, y'all hear your mama right. We gonna chase that million. We gonna quit chasing the 20s. We gonna quit chasing the 50s. We gonna quit chasing the 100s. We're gonna chase the real money. Because you can't catch it all, right? You have to make a decision. Jeff Bezos, billionaire. How long did Amazon sell books and just books? Anybody know? 20 plus years. 20 plus years, Amazon got great by selling books. He hogged his lane. He took that one lane. He put Books A Million out of business, brought Barnes and Nobles to their knees. He shut down a lot of I'm a bookworm. If y'all see my house, I got a wall probably about this long, just full of books. Y'all seen all the books. Books everywhere. Troy be stubbing his toes on books. Keep your books out of the floor. I'm sorry, sir. Books everywhere I go. 4, 5 books, because I'm always reading. Because they said if you want to hide something from me, put it in a book. And once I heard that, you can't hide nothing else from me. I'm going to read. 20 years, all Amazon did was books. I don't know if y'all remember half.com. Half.com was college books, but it was backed by Amazon. He put the book scene, he changed it. When Barnes and Noble came out with the Nook, he came out with the Kindle. Literally buried the Nook. Made it almost Amazon Prime, changed the game for everything. And now what is he doing? 20 plus years later, he's taking on a pharmacy. Have y'all seen that pill.com backed by Amazon? If you got 4 or 5 prescriptions, you send them to them and they send them back to you in how many or what you need to take a day at a time. Hello? Ingenious. But he didn't start off doing that. He stayed with books as long until he became a mega giant in books. Then he switched lanes. Bill Gates the same way. Steve Jobs the same way. You cannot juggle multiple. You can't. This money requires your laser focus. And when you're inattentive to your money, your bank account shows it. Desiree?
I learned that I am the only limit to the amount of money that I can.
Wow. How did that make you feel? It is free. It's absolutely free. And let me tell you something. I want to get it right. We say money so much, not because we're greedy or selfish, but money is what I have to teach women. I don't have to teach y'all to serve. We do that naturally. If I see somebody without, my natural inclination is to give. If I see somebody that doesn't have, my natural inclination is to share. What I didn't do was vet. I didn't vet the people around me. So I was sowing seed in bad ground. I was throwing my pearls to swine. I was just giving away my knowledge, giving away my time, giving away my energy, and didn't have anything to show for it. It sound like any of y'all raise your hand. So I had to learn what was for sale, what was free, and how to take care of me and mine. There's not a week that goes by that I don't have some woman send me a message. She's homeless. One lady, 55, broke her hip, ended up in the shelter, worked all her life. She said, Coach, you wouldn't believe the people I've helped. I said, yes, I would. But ain't it mighty funny when you need that same help? People are conspicuously absent. Y'all ever ran into that? When it's time for you to receive, nobody has it. So when you don't take care of you, when you don't put something in your storehouse, you can't expect for other people to have it for you. So I don't want you guys to learn the hard way. I don't want you to still be 70 and still working when you had millions at your foot, kicking them around. I don't want you to, end up in a shelter when you had so much opportunity. Look, I come from nothing. I come from a small town in Tennessee, and I'm a twice success story. It's no way with no college degree I should have been a vice president at Chase. It's no way. It's no way. It's no way but God. And it's no way I should make millions of dollars a year. And I came from nothing. I should be in a trailer somewhere barefoot with about 5 kids hungry running around, but I'm not. And so I know if I can do it, I know no one is precluded from it. We exclude ourselves. And we got to stop doing that. Tammy, what'd you learn?
But what I learned was to ask God for what I want and believe that it's possible for me.
Can you repeat the possible for me part?
Yes, believe that it's possible for me.
But didn't he say that though? He said he ain't no respecter person, right? And then he said, I'm not finna lie to you. I'm not a man or son of man that I should lie. So I'm telling you all these things in this written word, and it doesn't matter what religious doctrine you follow. He says the same thing. I love you and I want great things for you. What makes it so hard for us to believe it? You know why? We've been institutionalized. We've been brainwashed. I can't wait to find that book. I'm gonna run up in that book and I'm gonna tell y'all what book it was. But there's a book that teaches how to keep people oppressed, not necessarily slavery, but just mentally how to keep them going to a job every day, never seeking to go out and do anything bigger. It's something else. Rashonda, what'd you learn? Is this helping y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to show you where we've been the last couple of days, because today we're jumping into strategy and we're going to be talking about social media and how to build your following and how to create revenue on social media. But if you don't understand the mindset, if you don't understand how this is an entire paradigm shift mentally, it's a whole psyche shift. If you don't understand that, the mental game, you could have $1 million worth of strategy and never make $1 million because the go button is in here. Y'all understand that, right? Because I could show you $1 million worth of strategy and you could sit on it and do nothing with it. Or you can exercise it and generate revenue. But if you don't have mind control over mind control, you can't do that. Rashonda, what'd you learn?
What I learned yesterday is that the enemy, he kind of tells us all these same lies that has us stuck, and we just kind of like feel like we're by ourselves. And like the experience yesterday, when the tears started flowing, it's like everybody could relate to just feeling like they were on crack. They just were by themselves in their doubt and their fear.
and their insecurities, and it's like, I was like, I'm not by myself, but it's like, I look at myself and I was like, I know I'm smart, I know I'm talented, I know I have millions stored up and it's waiting for me, but it's just like that same lie, that's repetitions that he uses the same things over and over again, and he puts the same stuff in our face, and it's like we regurgitate it and we eat it again. You know what I'm saying? It slows us down from our process. And like Coach said about the mindset, when you have that poverty mindset and you don't really understand how things work, and you're in an environment where people are, they're not trying to go forward, and then you look around, it's like, I feel like I come from California, so I came all the way from Long Beach to get here just to be in a room full of like-minded women who have the power and what it takes to get to the next level. You just got to be in that environment. You got to tap in. And when the enemy stands up and puts that fear in, you have to remind yourself that I can really do all things. And it's like, I have to step out of my box and get into another environment with like-minded people, because you will be stuck, you will be stagnated, and you have to just tap, like you said, tap into the mindset, because yesterday was my very first time ever putting a profit plan, even really saying, okay, this is really realistic. These things really can't go. But when you have that mindset of, and you don't know how to understand how to get out the box, and you let the enemy say, well, what am I worthy to get out the box? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Do I have to ask permission to go? And the reality is, I already have the permission. God has already given it to me.
He gave us dominion and never rescinded it.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And he gave us all these things, and it's ours if we ask. And not only we ask, we do the work, and we got to go get it. So that's what I learned yesterday.
And let me tell you all a tactic, and y'all can take notes. I think y'all have notepads on your and pens, but you got to get out. You got to get the conversation out your head. Start putting it on paper. I am scared of this because of. It's going to seem asinine what you write. You're going to look at it and be like, girl, really? As long as you try to volley that around in your head, it is not going to pan out. Everything you counter yourself with, because yourself know yourself better than anybody else, yourself is going to counter. But girl, what about that? And you're going to be, for long, you agree with yourself. Girl, you sure right. I ain't going to do that. Start putting it on paper, the pros versus the cons. Take an analytical approach to it, because more often than not, it's just emotions, right? Run amok. And when you start to put it on paper, what happened when we did that exercise? When I had y'all write down what can stop you, what are your pitfalls, what are the things that are going to hold you back? When y'all start putting them on paper, what started to happen? Started to break the chains, huh? Started to break free, huh? Didn't even sound right.
Right.
It's like, girl, you mean I've been holding back scared this long because of this? You got to get that conversation out of your head, get it onto paper, start doing some pros and cons. And then what else did y'all learn? Who can tell me when I made you write down what your fear is making you miss? Freedom. Fear is keeping you at a job. Your fear is keeping your bank account low. Your fear is limiting your ability to travel, your ability to live your best life. Your fear is keeping you in that box, Rashonda. Who's keeping you in the box? You're keeping you in the box. Not showing up and doing any and everything that is possible to free yourself. When you start writing it down, what your inability or unwillingness to make a decision, your inability to or unwillingness to invest time, energy, effort, money, it doesn't matter. Your inability to believe in yourself, your unwillingness to fight that fight with you, it's costing you a lot. It's costing you time. It's costing you energy. It's costing you effort. It's costing too much. And then you got to ask yourself, how much longer am I willing to pay that price? We in church, they be passing notes. But y'all don't know me. I be writing crazy stuff back on the notes. The other day they was like, "What credit card you want us to use for lunch?" I said, "Yours." They're like, "No, coach, really?" I'm like, "Really? Use your card." What else? Who else was here? Did I miss anybody? They probably on the line. Bertha, what'd you learn, Miss Ursha? Yeah. Everything you do on social media, if it's not creating a buzz, you just hanging out. And some of y'all spend more time hanging out than you do creating a buzz, right? And there's always somebody on social media watching. I think right now we got about 55 views on the Facebook Live. How many we got on Periscope?
28, 26.
Okay, so somebody's always watching, but you got to be willing to create a buzz. And everything you do has got to be methodical. Stop doing things just to do things. When was the last time you got up, woke up and said, "I'm going to make some money today"? Y'all don't do that. You wake up with this big, long to-do list and none of it has anything to do with creating revenue. I don't get it. If you're a business and you want your business to be sustainable, the first thing you should be asking yourself every morning is, where is my profitability gonna stem from? And then you do all the things that are gonna make you profitable first, right? Then you fill in the blanks with the minutia and the ancillary stuff. But some of y'all spend all day filling in the blanks with things that are never gonna make you money. So it's no wonder your bank account is empty. Because what have you done to generate revenue? How many of you can see yourself doing that? Raise your hand. And you know why you do that? Because the minutia is the easy part. You don't want to get out there and offer your products and your services. You're scared somebody gonna say no. You scared somebody gonna tell you it costs too much. When are you gonna get past all of that though? Put your Kevlar on and go on out there. Because as for many people as will tell you no, somebody's gonna tell you yes. And guess what? If your average product price is $10,000, how many yeses do it take for you to make $1 million, Jennifer?
10,000.
If your average product price is $10,000, how many yeses does it take? All I need is 1,000 yeses, 365 days. That's 3 yeses a day. That's it. It's why make $1 million, over $1 million a year? No. So y'all to see behind the scenes, on average, how many clients do I talk to on the phone discovery calls a day?
That I know of. I don't know.
Anywhere from 5 to 10
Right.
that you know of.
That I know of.
But whoever slides up in my inbox, I say, give me a phone number. Whoever sends me an email, I say, give me a phone number. My average product price is between $6,500 and $15,000. It's not a day that goes by that somebody doesn't say, yes, free me. And I'm willing to pay. I think the most revenue I've ever done in a day is probably like $225,000 I closed in a day. We closed $400,000 in April. Guess what? What's the next thing I said? I want to do 500,000 a day. There's no limits. There's no boundaries. Whatever you. That was before. That was before ringless voicemail. That was before the new funnels we got. That was with archaic means. We were doing a lot of that stuff manually. So then you take the number of leads we got and run them through a little piece of funnel, or maybe half a technology, or just a little crumb of some automation. And you double and triple that. Just said fast. Only because of what? Nobody told me I couldn't. And I'm not going to tell myself I can't. So y'all need to quit talking crazy to yourself. So before we get started, any questions? Because it's just the kickoff. No questions in the bag. Go ahead. Huh?
She wonder how she can get.
Just take one off the table. You want a magazine? I got some extra ones too. She'll get you one. Did they get a bag?
Yeah, they don't have it.
Oh, I didn't stuff the bag, so I don't know. But y'all got some. What? Let's see what y'all got in the bag. Open the bags. Yeah, cause y'all gotta make some noise. Y'all so quiet. I don't like the quiet. So I gave y'all some noise makers. There you go. There you go. Come through, Clapper. And I love a pink. It's time to go to work. Yes. There you go. That's a t-shirt. We've been in here all weekend coming up with t-shirt titles. Yeah, what else y'all got in the bag? Y'all got clappers. Y'all need to keep them clappers out now. So we got about 5 minutes to move the setup. It's 9:52. So at 10 a.m. on the dot, we got about 8 minutes. We're gonna be at at 9:52 Houston time. Cause I'm not moving to Atlanta. I'm just gonna stay in Houston and y'all gotta adjust to me. So we're gonna take like an 8-minute break so we can set up the speakers for the podium. And we'll be right back in about 8 minutes. So see you guys soon.